All right, so I have a ton of tokens that are going to reset tomorrow. So I need to build some of the products I've been thinking about. And so I have 12.6 million, and they don't roll over. So I usually like to get everything that I can out of them. So this is what I do at the end of the month. I go to the projects that I've built or that I've kind of been thinking about, and I start building them. So let me first turn on dynamic reasoning, because again, since they are new, we haven't done any gym prompt framework docs on it. And so what in the past I've done is I'll do the gym prompt framework doc after, and then that allows me to I do the gym prompt framework doc after, and then that allows me a little bit more freedom when it comes to like essentially like I'll have the product built out. I already know kind of what the visual or the vision for the product is, and then I will use a gym prompt framework doc separately. So sometimes the product will be way different from what I imagined, or it'll be exactly what I imagined, but as I'm writing out the user stories, I'll realize some of the product features should be moved around or changed in a way to make it so that it's more user friendly and has a clean UI. But for the most part, yeah, I usually just kind of just I got 12 million tokens. So I'm usually just trying to figure out how far I can push it. So what I found last time that was really helpful is one, I will use all the folders. I'll use everything I have, but I'll probably record the prompt. So I'm going to use ChatGPT to help me build out the prompt for Bolt. So I'm gonna do that for a couple of projects right now that you'll hear me talk through, and then it'll show up here later. I don't know if I can record audio and also do this at the same time while it's feeding audio into the computer. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep this on record, and then I'll use my phone for this. So for this product, what was this? Oh, this is the clay earth thing. Okay, cool. I know where I'm going. So I'm using bolt.new to build out the front end product. And since you have all of the context for what features we want to build, I think I want to start out building the B2C product first. And in that B2C product, I want it to basically feel like people can upload all of their contacts, and it will create on the back end, it'll use AI to create matchmaking between the nodes. And by doing that, it'll create it so that the social network of all of these nodes feels like a living, breathing community that I think will really power the warm intros of this product. And so can you build out a prompt that will basically use all of the things that we've talked about on the front end so that I could put it into Bolt so it could kick off the product? So that was a really terrible way to do that. I'm nervous because I'm recording this live, and for the next one, it'll hopefully go a lot smoother. So it's building out something for that. And then what's the next thing that I want? So that's the social network one. I actually probably should just open these up separately. So open that in a new tab. Podcast to course. Oh, I already know what that's going to be. The local rewards. Oh, the tax startup. That'll be fun. HR job application thing. Oh, maybe I should do the job application thing. I haven't started that yet. Local crypto rewards program. That'll be interesting. And then we have instant.school. And then we have ember.school too. Let's do both of those as well. Cool. So we'll go ahead and get ChatGPT working on this, the one that I just recorded. Or sorry, we'll get Bolt working on this, the one that I just recorded. So here's what it gave me. Okay. So I'm going to take this. I'm actually going to doctor it a little bit. I don't like being too prescriptive with Bolt, to be honest. And in this case, sometimes ChatGPT likes to go into coding a little too heavily. So I'm not gonna do any of that stuff. Oh, we're not gonna do the name yet. It's not gonna be a single page web app. See, it was being too prescriptive. But an application is for B2C. That is for consumers to help drive relationships, introductions throughout their network. It will need to allow people to send in voice check-ins. It will need to have a living social graph. It will need to be able to surface needs and wins from the check-ins. It will need to be able to keep track of all of the contacts. Oh shoot, that's gonna trigger a super base. Okay, so maybe I went too far. Man, it went way too far. This is crazy. None of this is actually usable in the way that I need it to be usable. Okay, so I think this is how it's gonna go. Can I use? Okay, I'm gonna do it here. Prompts, whatever. And then I'm gonna do it on my phone. Okay. So right here, it's gonna say, see if I can do product development in real time, or product strategy real time. It needs to have an analytics page that shows how many contacts are in that person's network, and also how many warm introductions it's made among their contacts. It needs to have a dashboard that is going to show them the next upcoming warm intros they need to make, and also a summary of all of the check-ins that have come in for the last 24 hours. It needs to also have an area where the person with the social network can have a discovery aspect where they can just search their network for people who are alumni of whoever, or people who live in a certain city, or people who are working on certain projects. So it needs to be really easy to surface the qualitative aspect of their network so that they can actually use it to help them in their professional lives as well. Okay, we're going to use that. Wow, it went way not where I wanted it to go. That's crazy. Oh, why am I doing this? I need this on over here. So we'll let it, oh, what's the design? Shoot. I didn't think to do that. Okay, can you build out a design framework for the product based on the people that we're targeting, the elements of the product that might be helpful or valuable to them, as well as marketing, building marketing copy so that it sounds familiar why this product is going to be needed, because people are going to be wondering why it's not just a CRM or why the voice check-ins or things like that. And so we want to make sure that we're basically allowing them to understand that they are pulling intelligence from their network, that it's not really readily available, especially in a way that is easily to consume and connect the dots. There's not really anything out there that can do that proactively for an individual user. And so, yeah, that's what we want to go with it. Can you build out the design specs for that product and maybe a little bit about the branding strategy so that we can build out, a landing page or something like that as well? Okay. Here, let's use that model. So it's going to work on that some. And then for this one, Labrick. Yep, I know what we need to do here too. Okay, cool. And the tax startup. Did I already start this? I think so. It's just a tax idea I had, but I wasn't gonna fix tax. But I wasn't going to do too much on it, but here we are. Now I have too many tokens. So I am going to. All right, let's see what it did for brand. And I'm probably going to split this up into a couple of different videos. What? You went too far again. Okay, closer. Closer, closer, closer. Okay, cool. All right, I can use that bottom part. I can't use the top because it went a little too far. Okay, so I'm gonna have it build this first, and then it'll make a bunch of judgment calls that it needs to make. So that's gonna build in the background. That's cool. Now we gotta do Labrick. I'm going to use bolt.new to build out the front end of this product, and I want it to be really seamless, really easy to understand, and I want some of the product features to be extremely intuitive. So when a user goes onto the product and they want to upload a component, it needs to be very simple for them to do that. I also need it so that the components, when they're written in code, they look like they're written in code. It's not going to be something that looks like just text. I want it to be organized and displayed as if it's code so that people can easily look at it. So it needs to look like, I don't know, like an IDE type interface, so people can get familiar with it. Users need to be able to at least like show a mock-up, or not show a mock-up, but show a little bit of it where users can self-categorize and self-tag. They can add tags themselves, or they can use some of the other tags. We also want there to be a discovery feature where people can easily type into what components that they're looking for. We also want there to be a bundling feature where people can bundle different different components together and then buy them all at the same time. So that could be really interesting. And so that means that there might have to be some type of cool add to cart feature, but for the components. So that could be interesting. And then we also want people to be able to upload their components but not offer it to the public for being bought. And then we want for when someone has a private component, or any components actually, the user can't just look at the components. They have to have some type of access granted to them. So can you build out a prompt that creates that product for bolt.new? All right, we'll see how it goes. That one I didn't use O3 because I thought it would probably go overboard again on the coding aspect because I don't need it to code anything. Oh, how about this? I can't use it. I don't need any code, just the prompt. And then I can use O3. Then we have the text startup. Oh, and then we have instant.school too. So today we're going to be building three. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to be doing the background build of 7. And so what I've also found is that you can build multiple of these at the same time, but I'm not going to open that quite yet because we don't have Labric done, so we don't need to. And then we're going to go through and we're going to design like all of these at the same time. The last time I tried to use like 10 million tokens, or I think it was 19 million in a couple of days. It was really hard. So I think I kind of got an idea of how to do this time. Okay. Okay, this is pretty good. Okay. Can you come up with a landing page, marketing, copy? I mean, you get an idea, like do some research and figure out like who is going to be the best user for this product. I really built it for people who are vibe coders who are churning out actually a lot of different components quickly. Because if you use Bolt, it's giving you a ton of different components that you're building. And I feel like if you work with vibe coders, like people could actually cheaply, without using any tokens, just go ahead and just take the components that other people have built, especially if they're extremely complicated components. And that'll save them tokens and time if they can just put a bunch of components together and then put that into Claude or Gemini. And so that's what this library is for. It's for people to store all the components so that they can reuse components in new projects, but also they can sell the components that they've built. And I think that could be really interesting. So can you build a landing page marketing copy for that? And then also build a design strategy for both the product design and the external like landing page and branding design as well. So a minute and 14 seconds. I'm probably going to put that on O3 too, even though I've just been using the prompts for O3, but that was complicated. So it's actually building more than it used to. When I first started, like you can go back and watch some of the older videos. When you would start a new project in Bolt, it was not doing all this, what it's doing right now, which I think is cool because it's one, accomplishing the goal of using a ton of tokens, but two, it's actually thinking through pretty detailed, like what I asked for. And so like contact detail, like you would have to tell Bolt back in the day, I'd say that back in the day, 4 months ago, you'd have to tell Bolt that I want each contact to have a detail. You'd have to tell Bolt like that I want a contact card, that I want a contact filter. It would create everything you said, but if you didn't say specifically that you wanted there to be a filtering system to go through contacts quickly, it wouldn't build it for you. So I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so that's Laybrick. I'm just gonna reset that, and then these are the prompts. Since I'm not doing a Gen prompt framework doc for all of these, I'm not going to keep these prompts because they're going to change. Because I generally sometimes don't. I like what Bolt does sometimes, like it's a good like groundwork thing, but most of the times I kind of have a clear idea of how a product should be built, so I usually don't use it very tightly. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and just take all of that. I mean, even with some of the stuff that I know, like, hey, some of this stuff is not going to work because you're trying to build too many things too soon. So I'm going to take all of these, and then I'm going to go through really quickly and kind of say, move out anything that looks like it's going to trigger Supabase or Stripe. So what about I call Laybrick? Okay. Yeah, I probably want it to be like not like this at all. I don't need a dark mode toggle. It's a waste of code. Consistent primary component add to bundle checkout. Okay, cool. Search bar. Okay, cool. All right, that's fine. Whatever. Yeah, see, and you heard me say this before. When you do what I told you, which was like I said, the idea maze. When you go through the idea maze with ChatGPT, I mean, you heard me. I have already gone through a lot of this discussion. Well, these are just names. Okay, so I'd already gone through a discussion. See, right here, I basically said the whole point is that I want you to create a components library platform, right? So I've gone through all this stuff. I told it what I want. I told what I didn't want. And so, and I didn't even go that deep, actually. This isn't even a very intuitive one, but it's still got, so when I went in and now told that I wanted to build the front end prompt, some of the stuff it's coming out with are things that I told it I wanted. I knew that I wanted a star rating. I knew that I wanted a price slider. I knew that I already told it I wanted front end, back end, and multi-select for languages. I didn't tell it about a results grid or a secondary tab or any of that stuff. So some of it it's making up or inferring. But for the most part, okay, so this is good enough that I will probably I'll probably put this into, when I don't feel like I'm going to change a lot of things, I'm going to go ahead and put this into the Gen prompt framework doc for this product. Because I have a feeling that I'm going to use a lot of what it gave me, but I don't know quite how much. So this is probably done. I can tell because my computer's slowing down. So if you have on so like every time you open an app or open a new project, you're going to get a bunch of errors. But if you have on dynamic reasoning, which you should do at the start of every single project that you build with Bolt, it'll solve these a lot easier. It won't solve them all, but it'll solve them a lot easier because it knows what it's doing. But if you have on diffs, you'll be going back and forth a lot at the very beginning of your project. So usually I don't turn on diffs until I have the product down. Like I'm pretty good with what the product should be. That's just a odd pro tip. So right here, initial. Oh no, what was that? Initial product ChatGPT. Okay, so I'm gonna take that here. Let's check on this. It's still working. See, I need to make sure it doesn't say mock data. It's caught up on mock data. Okay, okay, what do I not want in here? Okay. What? Component detail page. What are you talking about? I don't even know what this means, to be honest. So I'll let it cook this, but changelog reviews, what? Overview usage. Oh. Component. Text. Not gonna do reviews. Unless it's been purchased by a non. Oh. Okay. Created the component. Okay. Shoot, it already. Oh, I'm doing too much. See, it already had what I wanted. So let's undo all of that. Because it's right here. Code viewer blurred until user owns the component. Cool. Okay. Okay. Or generate bundle. Okay, cool. That's all fine. That's all fine. Yeah, I don't need to do that either. So let's go ahead and put this in, and then this is probably way too much. I usually never give it this much context. I'm usually doing these one at a time, but again, like we got to burn tokens. All right, so that's not done. So I'm gonna come over here, and I'm gonna spin up another one. Move that over there, since now it's documented inside of here. This Gen Prompt Framework doc. So now, I guess you'll see part 2. See ya.